Welcome, beautiful people, to It's Been Said. I'm your host, Kat Wade, and Kat is spelled with a K. So excited to be with you this, I guess, coolish, kind of warm evening. I'm still a little confused about the weather, but, we are a weekly radio broadcast where we empower individuals for positive living, because a negative mind will never give you a positive life. We are a safe outlet where guests can share their stories of how they have overcome challenges to live their desired life. Storytelling is awesome, and all of us have a story to tell. Our guests share personal life stories from their lived perspective. Everyone is born into their once-upon-a-lifetime stories. We're just looking for our happily ever after. So good evening, beautiful people. How are you all this autumn evening? I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to say it's autumn. I'm in the studio, and I'm not alone. Guess who's in the studio with me? Tariq.
Hey, how's everybody doing this evening?
Yes, indeed. And when you hear his voice, you know what that means. Yes,
Tariq's variety show.
There you go. And I was going to say greet the people, but you've already done it. You can go ahead and give them a big warm greeting, big whatever you want variety show greeting, Tariq.
I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody made it out safely from these storms that we had last week. I know for me it wasn't too bad, but I know not everybody's situation is the same. And I hope you guys are locked in for this evening's discussion. It's titled, Before You Save the World, Make Sure Your House is in Order.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Now, I know I didn't announce. Normally, I try to announce ahead of time when we're going to have Tariq's Variety Show, or when we're going to have Sister Talk, or Perspective and Perception. But unfortunately, my guest wasn't here, being able to be here tonight. So hopefully, I know we're going to have them soon. But the show has to go on. Yeah. So here we are at this moment, beautiful people. And wherever you are, home, work, car, exercising, chillaxing, I'm just happy you decided to stop by for some positivity.
Hey.
Yeah, like I said, as Tariq has already said, I hope you all fared well after the hurricane. One thing I did observe, that Miss Imelda, the hurricane, passed by last week. And although she left, I think, little structural damage, there may have been some, she left serious. Cool weather.
Amen. I'm thankful. I was getting tired of the heat. I'm not going to lie to you.
Wow.
I was sweating in the air-conditioned room the other day. I'm like, this don't make no sense.
Literally, it was like a transformation, because during the storm, I woke up about 4 o'clock in the morning and I was freezing.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, wow. It was so strange, because my house has been hot all along. Hot. I don't have, central air. So right. I just have a couple of fans, and I have one window air conditioner that I never use.
Oh, Lord.
But literally, Friday morning, I went to my cupboard to get my plates, and they were hot.
Oh.
Not because of any fire or warmth.
Just because it was.
Because the weather changed so fast, the rest of the house was still warm.
Yeah.
I was so weird.
A bit. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. But, storms bring about change, if I'm being perfectly honest.
They do, yes. They bring about seasonal changes.
Yes.
So I guess summer's over then.
It seems like it.
But you know what's next?
Fall?
Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I love Christmas too, but I honestly, winter, fall, and autumn, that's my favorite season.
Okay,
because it's not too cold, it's not too hot. You just need a light jacket. I feel like that's from a movie, but don't quote me.
Oh, yeah. I kind of like that. Yeah. But I know someone who does like Christmas, and that's my Sister Talk. And yeah, she's excited as we move toward that. Did I tell you? And I normally do this at the end, but you can follow us on Facebook, people. Beautiful people. It's Been Said with Kat Wade is on Facebook, and it's on Instagram. Yeah. It's Been Said with Kat Wade. So please follow us. I'd like to give a shout out to one of our sponsors. One of our sponsors, and we had a wonderful anniversary event. I mean, I keep talking about it. I look at the pictures.
It was amazing.
It was truly, truly amazing. So I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, WJ Boyles. Okay? They thrive off having quality shoes along with great customer service. I think they must be the oldest shoe store in Bermuda.
It's quite possible. I can't think of anything that's older than them.
Boyles is there.
I'm glad you said that, because I do need a new pair of shoes.
Okay.
Just some everyday shoes, but I might get myself a nice pair of dress shoes while I'm there.
Well, funny you should say that, because I think, and I went to check with Mr. Boyle. I won't call his first name, because he told me don't call no first names.
No.
How many stores? I think they have like 7 stores.
7?
Well, yeah, 7 stores.
Please, somebody tell me I'm not the only one that didn't know this.
I think they have 7 stores. And I would go through them, but it's at least 4 in Hamilton, 4 or 5 in Hamilton. And then they have one in the East End and one in the West End.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's Queen Street, there's Trends, there's Sports Locker, there's, I can't remember the other 2, yeah.
This makes sense now.
Yeah, but they have shoes, children's shoe stores. They have a sports store. They have a leisure store, and ones to dress up your feet. So, go for it. Go for it. So, W.J. Boyles,
Styling and profile.
Yes, a staple store here in Bermuda. Well, we have a great show for you tonight. Always, Tariq's Variety Show always has some spectacular segments that always leave you with more than you came for.
I hope.
Yes, indeed. And he's already told us a little bit about what's brewing and what we have planned for tonight. But I'm going to let him introduce it. But first of all, let's have your monologue.
Sure. Let's dive right into that. We live in a world where everybody wants to make a difference. We all want to see change. We want to see progress. But change starts at home, and how we manage our money, how we plan our future, and how we take care of our families. But sometimes we're out here trying to fix everything around us while our own foundation is shaky. Getting your house in order doesn't mean cleaning up bills or sorting out papers. It means building structure, clarity, and security for your family, your business, and your legacy. That's what Gumbe Economics is. It's about unity, education, and ownership. Because if our homes are steady, our island can stand strong no matter what storm comes our way. Because before we can build a stronger Bermuda, we have to make sure our own foundation is solid. And that, to be honest, the inspiration behind that is actually the song Man in the Mirror. Like Michael Jackson talks about that. It's like, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. So I feel like that's what this really comes from. So yeah.
Gumbe Economics. Wow, so I love that. And we're going to explore a little bit more about that. So, beautiful people, you just heard it. There's one thing I've learned about Tariq. He wants to help his Bermudian folk. He is entrusted in this belief that we can help each other. We can support each other. The more knowledge we have about ourselves, we can build confidence. And a lot of our problems that we have is the fear of the unknown.
Yeah, sometimes, you get anxious. You come to an edge and you're like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what's the next step. And it's like, sometimes you need to take a leap of faith, and other times you need to take time to plan your next steps.
Yes.
And I think that this is what this is about.
Yes.
And it's going to touch on some of the points that we made on the last episode of Tariq's Variety Show, dealing with estate planning and whatnot. But we're going to dive a little bit deeper into some of the terms and what they're used for and whatnot. So,
So get your pen and papers out. You might need to take some notes. And also to let you know that in Tariq's Variety Show, we tend to keep our telephone lines open for the whole show, because we want to hear from you in a short way. Some of the terminology we're going to use may incite you to think about situations, and it's wonderful that you have a story. And if you'd like to tell your story, I've told you how to get in contact with us, so I would definitely have you on. But if you can give us a summarization of whatever you want to say, and call us on our phone, which is 297-1027, or if you're calling from overseas, United States, it's 1-888-257-9086. So, as we said, our telephone lines are going to be open for the whole show. 297-1027 or 1-888-257-9086 here on Magic 102.7 FM. Okay, so we're not going to sort of delve too much on the monologue, and I thank you for that monologue. Get your house in order.
Yeah. I think it resonates with all of us, if I'm being perfectly honest.
I know.
Like, there's room for improvement in just about any area, and it's like, I just came from the doctor earlier today, because that's a part of me getting my house in order. I'm like,
health-wise,
seek professionals and try to get yourself sorted, and that can look like different things. But right now we're going to talk about,
Yeah, I was about to go on that tangent. You almost took me on that tangent of health.
It's real easy to go down the garden path, and it's, again, these are important topics, and that's one of the things that I like about the variety show, is that we can talk about important and sometimes heavy topics, but we can also be jovial and talk about lighthearted and fun topics. But today, you might need to break out the pen and pad. Like take notes, have your questions ready if you have any, or like Kat said, if you got a story, please share it. But be mindful that we're here to help each other as much as opposed to going down the garden path. That's okay. Yes, but that's not what we're here for today.
No, and if you have something to share. What did you learn from the experience?
This is it.
What was your takeaway? Because whatever you took away could also help someone else.
Yeah, actually, that's really what this is. That's how this all came about.
Absolutely.
I took the leap of faith to learn these things, and I was like, man, nobody really talks to us about this. I've never had conversations about these things, so I was like, well, all right, let's start the conversation, let's actually do it. Even as with yourself. And that's kind of where it started. I was like, look, I was like, myself said,
pay attention, sit up.
Come on. So
So how to start off is, I'm gonna use the word, and this is how we talked about before, procrastination.
And on the opposite side of that is proactive.
Yes, exactly. So procrastination is a big problem in many households. You put things off indefinitely, important conversations, and you believe it's all going to work out. And I think sometimes having these conversations, what we're going to talk about, is hard for some families, some people. We want to avoid family conflict.
It can be a touchy subject.
We prefer not to have confrontation. I mean, really? Do we have to discuss this now? I mean, we're here at the barbecue. I mean, we're here at the family meeting, and we're having a good time. Uncle Joe just came in from New Jersey. Why you got to talk about that now?
Actually, this is the perfect time to talk about it, because everybody's in the same place.
There you go.
But I need to practice that more. But to my credit, I did a little bit at my last family reunion.
Good for you.
And I do have these conversations with some of my family members, but like you said, I think we need to come together and have it as a group.
Yes.
And then we can ask our questions. We can touch on things that, we'll find where the pain points are based off of how we respond to these things. And then, like you said, taking what we learned from that there and being proactive about it, and making a plan and putting it into practice, because everybody's got a plan. Everybody's like, look, I can make $1 million if I do X, Y, and Z. But most people don't put it into practice. And myself, I find myself being slow putting things into practice, and that's something that I'm working on. And I encourage others to do that as well. Make a plan and then say, all right, whatever day it is, because I don't want you to wait till Monday. I feel like that's one of the biggest mistakes. That's the procrastination coming up.
Yep, that's right.
It's like, I'll start on Monday. Like, no, let's start right now. Let's have this conversation. Let's write down what we need to write down. If you got a house or a bank account or something, or maybe you got your family recipe books and stuff. Like, write down the things that you find valuable, and that could be your start,
your conversation. But people, the Bermudians, I don't know nobody but getting in my business. I don't want nobody knowing about what I'm going on.
But they're gonna find out eventually.
And this is it. And oftentimes, and not that it's a negative thing. I want to speak to that, but as a Christian community, sometimes we say, we just pray about it.
I mean, prayer is good, but I heard faith without works is dead. So let's sort that out. We need to pray though. We do need to pray. And I ask God, I do that all the time. I'm like, Lord, guide me to where you want me to be, and help me find the words that you want me to say.
Sure.
And put me on the path that you want me to be on. The author of tomorrow orders my steps.
I
do that. And like I said, so that's one side of it, though. We need both sides. We need the left and the right foot. So we got the left foot is the prayer, and the right foot is the action.
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
Let's kick ourselves in gear.
And the responsible thing to do is keeping those two elements going simultaneously. And so people say, well, what are you guys going to talk about? Well, things like what you going to do with the house. Okay? What you going to do with grandma?
Come on.
What you going to do with the family heirloom?
What
you gonna do with Polly the parrot?
what about if we got multiple siblings? How are we going to divvy this up?
Exactly.
Who's going to do what?
Yes, yes. Before you save the world, you said, make sure you get your house
in order. Sort yourself out.
All right, let's go. Let's get started.
All right. So I'm going to start off with, to be clear, this is not legal advice. These products and the terms that we're going to bring up are for educational and discussion purposes.
One of the pillars of It's Been Said, education. Yep.
So if you're welcome to call in and ask questions, and we will answer them to the best of our abilities. But I recommend that you seek professional help because everybody's situation is different.
Absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
indeed. Okay. So.
All right. So.
And Tariq is so advanced and so, out there. He's made flashcards. I'm got my stuff on a little 8.5 by 11, paper, but. He's going professional.
This is me being proactive.
Yes.
That's exactly what this was. It was like, and I did it. I was like, it's a Thursday night. I'm drawing up these things, but I need to actually do something with it. So I had the terms and all that. And I was
well
like,
done.
Let's put into practice what you preach.
Yes.
So I've printed off these flashcards. And the first one that we're going to deal with is estate planning, just to give it as a refresher on the foundation. Estate planning, a process in which an individual a process by which an individual designs a strategy and executes a will, trust agreement, or other documents to provide for the administration of his or her assets upon incapacity or death.
I just have something here. You've got a lot of information. Is there some place you went and got this, or this is something that you just?
Well, this is for
anybody
over a period of time where I just studied these things. But a main reference that I used was Perry Trott's book.
Okay.
So the drama begins. I want to say not.
Okay.
I should have brought the book, but that's one of them. Google is another one, and I've already been to some professionals about these types of things.
Perfect. Okay, so estate planning.
Yeah.
That's a lot going on.
Yeah,
there.
that's a mouthful. Right
Yeah, but it's something that you do in order to give people the opportunity to know.
Yeah.
What to do with what you have.
Yeah. So everybody has an estate. As soon as you're born, you have an estate because it's any and all things that quote unquote belong to you. So that can be your shoes, your shirts, your clothes, your car, your house, your jewelry, your bank accounts, your pension. All of those types of things fall under the estate. And estate planning is taking the time to figure out what you have, what you want to do with it, and when you pass or are unable to act on your own behalf, what is going to be done. So everybody knows, maybe your grandparents are still here or they passed away, and when they passed away, a lot of people have the question of what's going to happen to grandma and grandpa's house. And if you don't have a plan, that can be very messy. But when you do have a plan, that's a smooth transition. It's real easy because you already know what you're going to do. You're taking steps to put these things into place, and once the first domino falls, sadly, when your loved one passes away, now it's like, all right, I ain't gotta stress myself in an already stressful time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so any age, like we have Azai here.
Yes.
And I want to let you know Azai is in the house as well.
Woo woo.
He's our intern here at Magic 102.7 FM. So shout out to Azai.
Yes, shout out. Big
yeah,
dog.
he's doing some good things, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's
so,
a young man in high school.
He's 16. Should he start as estate planning?
Yeah, if anything, he could start having the conversations. He can start learning about these things so that he is ahead of the game. He isn't reactionary when things happen, because we never know what's going to happen.
It's true. It's true. Okay, all right. So what's our first flashcard here?
It's a will. And I feel like most people know what a will is, or your last will and testament. Some people would address it as. And based off of the flashcard, a will is a legal document that outlines your wishes for how your assets and property should be distributed after your death. Now, in terms of your will specifically, that has precedence over a lot of different things. But if it's not structured properly, it can be protested. Meaning that somebody can challenge it and say, let's say you have a family member and you didn't include them in your will and whatnot, but if you didn't actually state that, oh, I don't want to give them anything, they can challenge it and possibly get a portion of your estate.
Okay.
Or even worse, force the other people who you want your assets to go to, you could force them to sell some of those things in order to pay you.
Right. Okay. I guess I first heard about. No, it's not the first time I heard about wills in my family was through my dad, right? But you watch movies and people sit down and talk about wills, okay? Yeah. And so my dad had to make a will, right? And he was reluctant. He told me that. He says, I'm going to make no will, but a lawyer friend of his said, Palmer, you and Miriam sit down and sort out the will.
Thank God for good people.
Oh, yes. And my husband and I, we traveled to Cameroon, and we had to make out a will because the chances of us not coming back were pretty high.
Than usual, yeah.
So that was something that we saw. And caller, please call back. We see you there. But yeah, wills are important.
Yes, they
and I have a question for you. Maybe the person will call while I'm thinking about this question. Should you tell people what's in your will? Is that because, like people sit up there and start reading out the will afterwards, and we get all kind of scenarios.
Well, that's the thing. You should discuss some of these things.
Magic 102.7 FM, you're on the air.
Good evening. How are you?
Oh, very good, thank you.
Oh, ma'am and sir, a very interesting conversation. I just have two questions I'd like to ask, okay?
Okay.
How should I start this now? Okay, for what I have,
yes,
would probably fit on a postage stamp.
Okay.
If I had to write what I have.
Bless you.
Okay.
Bless you.
Here's the deal.
All right, I'm listening.
Could I write out my own last will and testament as opposed to going to a lawyer and pay these exorbitant fees?
To my knowledge, you can, but it leaves it open to the possibility of it being challenged or protested, like I said earlier. So if you have something that you feel is valuable and you want to make sure it gets to somebody.
Yeah. Well, okay, without going into too much detail, I'm not talking about a house and land or this sort of stuff,
Yeah.
And the second question is that if I write out this will saying that I hereby state my daughter as my executor to my will to handle all my funeral stuff and everything. When I've written it out, obviously I would sign it.
Yeah.
Do I need extra signatures on there, or do I need to have it notarized?
I'm thinking you probably would need a witness.
I believe you need a witness. I do believe so.
What, 2 witnesses or 1?
I would say at least 1. But I believe it's 2. A lawyer or a professional can better answer these questions.
I see what you mean. Yeah, okay. I was just looking off the top of your head, this sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh yes, actually.
Yeah, I've discussed this with a couple of people, and I was told that you can make. And at one point, I think didn't they have at one of the stationery stores? They had actually a will paper that you could go and buy and fill it out?
They might. I do know
yes,
that.
they do. They do. I had a friend of mine who actually was encouraging someone else. Just go to the stationery store. You can buy the information. It's right there. It's easy to fill out. You write what you want. You sign it. Get someone to sign it, and it's in. It's in. As long as they can.
I didn't need to pay $300.
No, I get
for your postage stamp.
Exactly, but Kat just brought up to me as well is that every Thursday on Angle Street they have the free legal clinic, so you can go there and you can ask a professional your questions. Thursday at 5:00 on Angle Street at the community center.
I'm a Ferry Beach boy. I don't know nothing about Hamilton.
Okay, it's by Delwood Middle School.
Yeah,
it's called the name of the building. It's a gentleman's name. Is it Swan? No. Somebody's going to call and tell me.
Hang on. Let me get this. If you're coming off of Dutton Avenue and coming up past the Salvation Army by Tools and Equipment.
Yes, coming up, and when you get to the roundabout, you make the left.
Left or right?
The left.
Left.
Yes, and it's right there.
It's the blue building. Yeah.
Oh, is that what Sammy Swan's building?
That's it. That's Sammy Swan. Right.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. For every Thursday afternoon, for what time?
5:00.
5 o'clock?
Yep.
And you can go there for legal advice as far as wills are concerned.
Yeah, you can go there for just about anything related to legal advice.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something that I recommend. I actually went there myself and asked a few questions as well.
Okay, because I am I didn't come in. Well, I had a stroke in 2015. Had to give up my car license. I didn't get out much, and every time I go into Hamilton, I feel like a tourist.
No, I get it, and that kind of happens.
Everything's changed.
Everything's changed, and it's going to continue to change. But yeah, so those are the two pieces of advice that we have: is to get the will paper at the stationery store, and to go to the free legal clinic every Thursday at 5 o'clock.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately, the stationery store is closed.
With your program tonight. When Kat said Tariq.
Yes, sir.
Is your name Tariq?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm an airplane enthusiast.
Okay.
I thought he was going to be talking about Tariq Wade.
No.
The pilot.
I wish, honestly, we should try to get him on.
A very good friend of mine, he doesn't fly anymore. His name is Peter Wilson.
Okay.
And you see a little plane used to fly up and down the island. He was flying a little single-engine plane a few years back. He used to fly that, and I've been an airplane enthusiast since I'm 5 years old.
Okay, so I have a quick question for you, sir.
Yes.
Based off of the conversation or anything in your personal life, have you learned anything about estate planning or wills that you would like to share?
Well, actually, yes, I have learned, because at one point when I had my mother on for 95 years, right?
Amen.
And then she passed on, and then it was time for the will, the probate, and so on and so forth,
Yes.
The only thing that I remember very much was that one time my mother called me into her bedroom, and she told me, she said, Michael, just sit down, I want to talk to you.
Okay.
And so she says to me, she said, listen, I want to make out my will, and there were 6 of us.
Okay.
She said, how do you think I should, you want some input? I told her straight up, I said, Mom, listen, you got 6 children, you divided up 6 ways, what I do with my money, my responsibility, and the same thing goes for the other 5.
Sure. Okay.
No, and so that's exactly the way that it worked out. We all got a little piece of the pie.
Yep.
We all went our separate ways, and it was quite interesting. My niece actually took the lead role in doing all the lawyer stuff and everything.
Okay.
Some things I didn't. It's not that I needed to understand it, but I mean, when one item there caught my attention, talking about stamp duty.
Yes, stamp duty.
Damn, I said, the stamp duty, you could buy a new house.
Yeah, hey, look,
they're expensive.
It can be. So,
and this was like in 2007.
Oh well, you have to imagine what it's like now.
18 years later, can you imagine what it is today?
I can only imagine. Well, thank you very much, caller. I appreciate
thank you very much for the information, Tariq. And Kat, I always listen to you.
Oh, thank you.
And I've been trying to find a reason to call in, and
you found it.
Here we go.
Well done.
But wheels and stuff, that caught my attention.
Good,
yes,
good.
Sir.
Okay, glad we can help you, caller. You take care, all right?
I'm all ears.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank
take
you for
care.
My bass guitar player told me one time that if I wanted to go to the States, I need not buy an airplane. I said, why not? He said, you could jump off a Gibbs Hill and glide.
Oh, shucks.
Well, all right, caller. Okay. Like I said, thank you for calling in.
I said that because I used to have a band called the Joe Express.
Okay, all right.
Remember that or not?
Nope. Sorry.
Okay, anyway, that's it. Have a pleasant evening.
You too. Thank you for calling in.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so that's Will's. So his mother gave an overview of what it was going to be like. So it wasn't like people sat down and were surprised.
No.
So it can work for some people and some people it can't.
Yeah. But if you never had the conversation, you don't know.
No, indeed. So what's next?
So next is trust. And a trust is a legal arrangement where a person, the grantor, transfers assets to another person, the trustee, to manage for the benefit of a third party, the beneficiary.
Right, okay.
Now, that's a few terms on there, but
right.
we're going to focus on the trust. So the trust is one of those things that actually protects your assets over a long period of time. Now, they do have a time limit and whatnot, but the specifics of that there will be based on whatever one that you decide, and that one you specifically need to go and talk to a lawyer or an attorney about, because there are different types and your needs will be different.
Yeah. My familiarity with trust is when we purchased property and we set up a trust.
Yeah.
And then we had trustees who oversaw the properties for the beneficiary of our children.
Right.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. And so
You just
didn't understand the terminology, but that was what it was.
Well, you just did 4 terms just now. So the trust, which is the actual legal entity, the trust is the legal entity, the grantor is yourself who bought the property, the trustee is the person who manages it on behalf of the beneficiary, and the beneficiary is the person who actually gets the property and whatnot. They're the ones who get to use it and live in it and all of these things.
Right. Yeah. So that's the trust. That's another thing you need to sort of,
it's worth looking into, because not everybody needs a trust, and that's what I learned when I went to the legal clinic. He said, if it's only one house, if it's just your house and it's just you, or you and your siblings and whatnot, then you probably don't need a trust. But if you got more than one property, it'd be worth it to protect both of the property.
The reason why we had to get a trust was because of the length of the mortgage. So the mortgage, because of our age, we would have been past the age, so it was attached to our children, but our children were too young, and so we had trustees that would look at. Isn't that fancy?
Isn't it? I learned something new just now myself. I know that's really good. Thank you, Kat.
Yeah, so we had a trust set up. It was called Dieudonné, and the trustees were, I guess, responsible for watching it over while we were the persons paying into it.
Yeah.
But it was eventually for our children.
Right.
Yeah, so
okay.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. Can you give us a little more elaboration on it?
Just the fact that I don't know what else to say. There was a trust.
Well,
and what questions would you have?
I was going to ask you, what did you learn from this experience?
I learned that that it's, first of all, finding good people to trust.
Oh, that
was important, because this was wealth, and this was money, this was property, and we wanted to make sure that our children would benefit from it. If we couldn't do it, at some point we were, no longer there, and then the trustees were very much wanting to be a part of it, Okay. And well, that's they're older now, so
but still, I mean, that's great. I didn't even. You said something that really caught my eye, or my ear, I should say, is when you said because you were older, and the mortgage could have gone beyond your years and whatnot. The trust is a tool for succession.
Yes, so there you go.
Going directly to your kids and whatnot. Taught me something new.
Yeah.
But this is why I love having these conversations.
I know.
Because you never know what you're going to learn.
Yes.
You really don't.
So call us if you've got some information that you want to share with us, something you learned. We're here for you. 297-1027 or 188-257-9086 on Magic 102.7 FM. It's been said. What's next, Tariq?
Grantor. So this is one of the key points in the trust. The grantor is the person who creates a trust and transfers the assets into it. Yep. So with your example, that was you.
Me and my husband.
Yeah.
So we are definitely that. Okay.
So and that's another key point. So I've heard stories of where people will form a trust and whatnot, but they won't fund it. They won't put the assets into it, and that's could just be because they didn't know to do it or how to do it and whatnot. So if you do open a trust, be sure that you actually put the trust name on your documents.
Yes, that's very much. The mail comes in the name of the trust, name, not our names or anything like that. And the trustees don't pay anything into it. They're not responsible for it. That's what the guarantor is about.
Right. So it's your responsibility, but they're there to manage it and protect it on behalf of your kids in this example. So I didn't even know
these words. I mean, and we sort of run from these words because they sound so legal.
Yeah.
Until something happens, and then lawyers come and use their jargon. You're going, huh? What?
Like speaking a foreign language. It sounds like Swiss cheese going in my ear right now. But that's why we're having these conversations, to help break it down and make it more
palatable.
Yeah, digestible, accessible, and something that you can utilize.
And we're not experts, which is we just need to know.
I'm not an expert, but I felt like it was something worth knowing. And I have my personal reasons, things within my family and whatnot, and I don't want to get, later down the line and I'm rushing now and feeling anxious. I'm like, man, I wish I would have done this sooner.
Absolutely.
So, let's do this now, any moment, being proactive. The next word is beneficiary. In your example, it was your children. And a beneficiary is the person or the organization designated to receive assets or the benefit from your estate.
Okay. Caller, you're on the air, 102.7 FM. Magic. Hello.
Hi. Just want to ask a question to the gentleman. Is there still a death tax on the main house, the homestead?
I believe.
Should anyone die?
I don't want to misquote it, but I believe when you register your house or you put it into your trust, the death tax is waived, but I could be wrong. So please seek professional.
All right,
I'm not trying to send you out here with the wrong information.
But it's a good question, caller.
It's a great question.
And if somebody is listening and they know, please
answer,
call.
Please call.
Yeah.
No, I have property. Have a good night.
All right, thank you. All right, caller. All right, good night.
Bye.
Yeah, I hear that I've heard the death tax, and there was a conversation not too long ago I had with someone regarding that, because both my parents are now deceased, and what they did was they put the house in our names before they died.
Right. Voluntary conveyance.
Yes, voluntary conveyance. There you go.
My mom were having this conversation. I tell her, but
so a tax was avoided. Like, I think it might have been the
as
death
far as
tax.
I'm aware. And because if I'm remembering correctly, the trust and all of those things are more for probate, but we've got that on this word too. Yes,
oh my god!
I know it's
almost like
it triggered you.
A dirty word.
It triggered you as soon as I said it. Your face, you cringed.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, but it's important, and like these are the types of things that can protect you and whatnot. Yeah. And I wish I had my other book because it had notes on these specific things.
It's okay. Yeah. So the beneficiary, because there's a conversation that I had with somebody, so that you have a beneficiary is the person who receives the assets from the will.
Yes.
Right? So if you have children, or even a niece or some family member, whoever, they're the beneficiary.
Yes.
So it gets confusing. So if that beneficiary should die,
that's a hard one.
And then they pass their assets on to someone else, there's like a new person in the mix,
a new beneficiary. Yeah.
So it could really get a little complicated.
These things can't, and that's why
no tangled up.
Shout out to Mr. Perry Trott. He was the one who was saying, you need to review your estate plans and your wills and stuff as things change throughout your life. So don't just think it's a one and done thing. Like this is an ongoing strategy to protect yourself, your family, and your wealth.
There you go. All right, so what we got next?
Next is executor. So the executor is the person you name in your will to manage your estate, including paying debts and distributing assets according to your will. Now, the executor, as far as I'm aware, is specifically for your will, as opposed to in a trust where it's the trustee.
Yes. So I was the executor for my parents' will.
Okay.
I didn't find out until the will.
That happens. And again, this is why we need to have these conversations.
I had no qualms about it,
No, it's not
as
a bad
the oldest, I thought, well, of course. Why? I had seen the will, looked at it, but never saw that part that said I was the executor.
That's hilarious.
And I said, so what does an executor do? Well, as you say, I divvy out and I decide. So the first thing I did was after my mother had passed, I said, okay, girls, come on, let's go through mom's stuff and say what you want, what you don't want. What are we going to give? What we're going to take? And
I know one of the things you kept. I know that much.
What was that?
Recipe book.
Oh yes, of course, because that was the very last conversation I had with my mother.
Yeah, and
so
important.
Those recipe books are well safely stored away. Haven't been even given out.
They're not meant to be.
I know. Absolutely. But no, it's looking at the bigger picture. And I think, just my kind of observation, that people should know that they're the executor.
Yeah, I mean, it would help. But again, like, these are, like I said, we weren't taught these things. So we don't really have like a manual on how to go about it. And even when we talk to professionals, you know, you might not go to the right person, or you might not ask the right questions.
Right.
So it's like, okay, cool. What am I supposed to be asking? Who am I supposed to be telling? And, you know, you can make a list and all of those things.
Yeah.
And like you said, you should definitely tell your executor and whatnot.
My parents probably did tell me, but I was like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I
and,
mean,
over my head it went.
Yeah, one time, yeah.
You know,
So.
But it's important, and these discussions, as we talked about before, should be called upon in a way that people are in their, I guess, the best possible state of mind.
Yeah.
It's not a death.
You don't want to do
that you
it
want to be talking about
when you're in the moment, in the thick of it, because you're already dealing with so much
emotions and all that
Like,
kind of stuff.
Everybody's feelings are running high, and it's like things can get ugly real fast, and that tends to happen. Like, you'd be surprised, and it could have been avoided just by having conversations and having some sort of plan in place. Even if you do it only once and you never come back to it, it's like at least you took the step to
initiative,
organize these things and whatnot. You were proactive.
Okay, so what's next?
Power of attorney.
Oh dear,
that's a big one.
Yes indeed.
That's a big one too. That's another one of those things you should tell the person. A power of attorney is a legal document that gives someone, the agent, the authority to act on your behalf in financial or other matters, especially if you become incapacitated. So, like, if you get sick and you get cancer and you're unable to handle your own affairs, that's where power of attorney comes into play.
So, power of attorney, I heard about that because one of the trustees of our will, of our trust, didn't live in the country. So we needed a power of attorney to do the signatures for that individual. Okay, because there were things that need to be done sometimes right away, and we couldn't have time to send it away for them to sign it, bring it back. So one of the other trustees was a power of attorney for that person. Okay, so that was one. The other thing was, I used to be the coordinator for seniors at the Department of Health.
So you're seeing a lot.
Ooh,
I'm sure you heard all sorts of
the stories. Unfortunately, you know, that emanated from those conversations of power of attorney, and it's sad because some people want to take advantage of an elderly person, and so there was a case where someone got someone to sign off a power of attorney, sort of in a fraudulent way.
That's fine,
and it wasn't fair. It wasn't good. It wasn't nice. It just wasn't right. It wasn't right at all.
They had ill intent.
Yes, indeed. And so we're encouraging you to have the conversation. You know, if you're an older person and you think that at this point in time you don't know how, and anything could happen at any moment.
Anything, you never know. And that's again, that's why I said, you know, you're never too young. With Azai being 16, you never know.
That's right.
So, like, even if you know you're not the driving force behind it, sit in the room and request that your parents talk to you about these things so that you can have some sort of basis and understanding of it, because you never know when you might have to step up.
Okay. Hello, caller. You're on the air, Magic 102.7 FM.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, yeah. This is this Ferry Reach boy again.
Yes. Hello, Ferry Reach.
Turn your radio down, please.
Yes. Just one quick question. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Let's say that I have my daughter, because I have a death insurance at BF&M, right? And when my day comes, she'll be the beneficiary of that money that's there for my funeral expenses, right? So she's going to be my beneficiary for that.
Right.
Can she also be the executor of my will?
I believe so. I don't think there's any limitations.
Yeah, because that would have to do with you know, how I want my my funeral, whatever the case may be, if I want a viewing or a church service or whatever the case may be.
Whatever your wishes are. As far as I'm aware, she can be. I don't think there's any genuine limitations. I could be wrong, so please seek professional advice. But as far as I'm aware, she can have multiple roles within your estate.
Because there are two things you matter. One of the beneficiary, the executor to the will.
Yes.
And power of attorney.
Yes.
Is that similar to executors to the will?
Yes, as far as I'm aware. It comes more into play when you're unable to do things on your behalf.
I see. Okay, so that would sort of somewhat parallel with the executors to the will. If I should become mentally or physically incapacitated,
yes,
the executor to my will could act on my behalf as well as my power of attorney.
No.
The power of attorney is someone who acts on your behalf while you're still alive.
That's
Okay.
the difference right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
while you're still alive, while you're, but you're unable to sort of, I don't know, make signatures for certain things and pay bills
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
you
Or you're not of
know,
a sound mind.
sign off on medical things. So this is the person that would do that. Your power of attorney. He makes
The power of
decisions on
attorney
your
would do that.
estate. Okay. There's something
I
else
see.
we're going to
Okay.
talk
Thank you
about
very
too, which is a living will. So stay tuned for that. There's another terminology for you. All right, Mr. Ferry Reach. So hang on.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
No problem. Thank you for calling
Okay.
in.
All right. Take care now. All right. Bye-bye.
See, I wasn't sure about this thing, so I'm glad that you was able to come in, and this is why having conversations as a group.
Yeah, I learned a lot about this stuff when I was coordinator for seniors.
I'm so thankful you did, because you could teach me and everybody who's listening some things too.
Yeah, it's so important, especially
is.
for our seniors. Oh my goodness, please educate yourself. And if you have seniors in your family, you make these conversations. A lot of times seniors don't want to discuss it, but if you're able to find a way to bring it to light and say this is going to benefit everybody, everybody, I promise you.
And like I said, while you're of sound mind, because that happens a lot too, where people aren't exactly coherent, or they can't consent to things and whatnot. So let's not wait till that becomes the case.
Okay.
Let's get ahead of these things.
So what's next?
Healthcare directive. Advanced directive / living will. So a document that specifies your preferences for medical care and treatment if you become unable to make decisions for yourself.
Yes.
So, like I said, if you're not of a sound mind, or maybe you got in an accident, or anything's possible.
Okay.
I remember this. I don't know if this is the same thing, but I remember one time when my mom had to be taken to the hospital and stuff, and they were asking for, what medication does she take, and I didn't have the answer for that. But your healthcare directive should have those types of answers, right? I'm asking.
Yes.
Would they have access to it?
Well, if it's in the doctor's office, no. If you go to the hospital, they ask you to take your medication when you come.
Yeah. Well, actually, my advice is that we get printouts of our medication.
Absolutely.
How much we should take, and like all of the basic information, and just have that list ready for you in case of those emergencies and whatnot. That's something that I actually requested.
Right.
I have yet to get it.
But living will. Oh no, we have a caller, so let's take the caller.
Okay.
Magic 102 points. I'm sorry.
Call back.
Okay, so living will. So when I was coordinator for seniors, there were these documents that oftentimes would give opportunity for people to decide whether they want any life-saving circumstances, for instance, support. So when you get to a certain point, listen, if I get in an accident and they tell me that it's
everything from the neck down,
that's right, pull the plug.
Yeah. Or my granny actually, I guess she had a heart attack or a stroke or something, and she said the next time it happens, she didn't want
resuscitation. Yeah. So
So that's just an example of that.
Yeah, and also, like, for instance, I gave this example. One of the things my mother had said, as she gets older, not to put on a rest home.
That's a big one. And
she made it. Now, there was nothing written down. There was nothing, sort of given. But she had said it enough times for us and my two sisters to know that was not going to be an option. Now, I'm not saying it's not working for other people. No, but that was her living will, as it were.
Those were her wishes, and she had 2 or 3 witnesses, and you respected her wishes.
Absolutely,
and that's a blessing, because a lot of people, some people don't have any choice in that matter.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're living in the house, but you don't have proper care, or sometimes the house can't maintain and take care of you, so you end up in a home. And again, some of these things can be avoided or addressed beforehand.
And they are complicated, because I do remember stories of people who lived alone in houses and didn't have the means to have a carer to come into the house.
And it happens so much more often than people think. And I even have examples in my family. So my granny, again, talking about her, she was in her house until she went, and by the grace of God, our family was able to care for her and whatnot. And she did so much work. Shout out to my granny. She ain't here no more, but shout out to you, granny.
So it's about even saving money toward that.
Yeah, bro.
A guy saying, no, I'm only 16. Don't put me in my 70s yet.
No, don't. I'm not trying to put you in your 70s. I'm just trying to say, you're 17. You could do a lot with those years. You could do a lot.
Absolutely. So living will, and is that done through a lawyer, or can you do it sort of like a will? I wonder. I'm not quite sure.
I'm not quite sure either. I've never even asked the question, so that's going to be something that
know what? There was an insurance company that provided that. I can't remember. When I was a coordinator for seniors, there was an insurance company, I don't want to call the name, that had information of how you can fill out a living will. So you might want to look into it.
Okay, so I actually have an answer to something that came up earlier. Shout out to my mom.
Okay, Mom.
She says stamp duty is death tax, as far as I'm aware. I think that's what she means. And she says the homestead certificate waives the stamp duty. So for the lady who was asking about death tax, and death tax and stamp duty are...
stamp duty, isn't the stamp duty what you when you buy a house?
Right, stamp duty is specifically for houses, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
But it waives that tax for the house.
Okay.
So it may not do it for your entire estate, but it does it for your house specifically.
But not every house can be
a homestead. Right. Now, I don't know.
You can only have one house that's a homestead. You can't have 2 houses as a homestead or 3 houses. I know that for sure.
I do know that much, but I don't know what the other parameters on that. So, again, I'm going to have to ask these questions. And, folks, I recommend that you ask your questions when you go to your professionals. Yeah?
So, what's our next term?
Oh, this is a doozy right here.
Oh, gee.
Do you want me to put it off for later?
No, go right ahead. Right ahead.
Probate. That's a big one. I know some people's spine shuddered just now when I said it. I'm sorry. Probate is the legal process where a court oversees the distribution of your assets and the payment of your debts after your death, as outlined in your will. So, yeah. Okay.
I think that's kind of self-explanatory. And I had a conversation with someone today. I said, why should the courts tell us what to do with our things? And he said it's because you don't know what debts are on the properties.
Hey, I found that out myself. And
you just don't know. You
really don't.
Your dad may say, oh, yeah, I'm clean and clear. Or your aunt or somebody. And when you find out that there's a lien or something and you're thinking, oh, okay.
I remember when I first heard about it, I was like, what's a lien? What is this? Honestly, and this is, again, like, these terms are not in our regular everyday conversations or vocabulary.
No.
So that's really what these flashcards are about. It's like, man, let me make something for myself so that I can better understand these things, and it might be able to help somebody else.
What I like about your flashcards is that they are, I'm trying to find the right word. They're not overbearing,
They're approachable.
Like a game.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm going to throw something out. Tell me, what do you think this is? It looks like a game. It's not, intrusive or anything.
No, and that's kind of what it was. I wanted it to be something that's easily accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
And, what you can do if your family members, or this is an idea of what I have, is that you can shuffle off the cards and then you draw a card. Everybody draws one card, and whoever draws the card, they'll ask the question, what does what does probate mean? What is a will?
Yeah,
and all of that.
And
you can test yourselves in a group setting, in a gamified setting of learning estate planning and stuff. I think that's fun.
I like that.
It may not be the funnest thing. It may not be motocross or nothing, but I think it's a fun way to approach these topics.
Okay, what's the next one?
Estate tax.
Running
on taxes. So estate tax are taxes on the transfer of the property at death. Your estate may be subject to this tax depending on its values.
Okay.
And as we heard, or as my mom told me,
Shout out, Mom.
And shout out to you. Gotta love her.
Absolutely, yeah. She's got your back.
Yes, amen. I thank God for that. Is that once you register your house as a homestead, like you said, only one house can be registered as it, but that waives these taxes, or at least this specific one on your property.
Right.
That was something that, again, Mr. Perry, Mr. Trutt, sorry.
Yeah.
What he said it's specifically dealing with the home, the real estate, that piece of property, not your overall estate, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Okay, so taxes, don't run away from them. It's not a bad word.
It's not a bad word.
No. So what's our final one?
Fiduciary.
I never heard of that word before. Please.
I have to look it up too.
Yeah.
That's why it's in the list. I'm serious. A fiduciary is an individual or organization entrusted with acting on behalf of another party, e.g. a trustee or executor, in a position of trust, requiring them to prioritize the other party's interests, meaning that they have to make they have to think of you. What's the word I'm looking for? They have to do the best on your behalf.
On your behalf.
Yeah.
So this is not a trustee.
No, as far as I'm aware, it's not a trustee.
When I had the conversation, because I had to go over this, my boss, Mr. Butterfield, Quentin Butterfield, who knows a lot about everything because of his experience, it's more to do with the financial side.
Right.
The paying out of whatever needs to be done in your estate.
So a fiduciary isn't specific to estate planning and whatnot, but they do deal with these types of things. So fiduciary could be if you got a financial advisor who's telling you how to budget your money and stuff. That's a fiduciary.
Right.
So you have to think with your best interest at heart.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that was a pretty heavy duty, but we had fun doing it.
I think so.
And we learned some things, and we discussed some things.
Learned something too.
Absolutely, callers. So once again, Tariq's Variety Show has brought you with things that you never had before, and I'm hoping and believing that you are in a better state than where you were when you first started. Magic 102.7 FM. You're on the air.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
I'm just listening to your program. Very interesting.
Thank you.
One thing that I noticed that you haven't talked about, Tariq, is that you're telling people, make sure you make a will. Now, some people...
Caller, if you can just turn your radio down a bit.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, thank you.
I thought I had turned it down. Okay, is that better?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem.
The thing is this: some people think, okay, I made my will, that's it. In your will, you may have left to a spouse or something like that, and whatever you made, whatever bequest or device you've made, it's in your will, so I don't have to make it anymore. For some reason, you and that person, either through death or divorce, is no longer in your life.
Yes.
But you think perhaps, well, I made my will, and you remarry. That will has to be made again.
Yes.
Good point, caller. Good point.
Because I'm telling you, that can cause a big ruckus.
Yes, and it happens. People have.
I know it's
Sounds like you're living.
living
proof of that.
testimony.
Actually, I used
Or know someone.
I used to work in the legal office.
Okay.
And I did work in the. Those were the days when you did everything in the law office. It wasn't one person did this or one person did something else.
Yeah.
In those days, you did everything from the running the errands up to the thing. But I just thought that I put that out because there are some people listening. They say, "Well, I better get my will made," and or they may say, "Well, I did that 30 years ago, or I did that last week," and for some reason, that person you remarry. That's the point, and so your will becomes null and void,
Right.
and you die, as what they call intestate.
Yes.
And of course, here we go. So I'm telling you, it can cause a lot of friction amongst family members.
Yes.
So once you remarry, make sure that you redo your will. You can make it exactly the way it used to be, but the point is this: you've made the new one since you subsequently remarry. That's just a little bit that I thought I would like to share.
Yes, thank you.
Because there's someone who just may say, "Well, I've already made my will. I don't have to do it again." But if you remarry, you'd better do it again.
I agree.
Also, it's so good to talk about making a will, or let your family members know what it's all about.
I agree.
I know my mother was adamant about that.
Amen.
And so, of course, both she and my dad, they've passed now.
My
So we
condolences.
didn't have any problems. But that's it. But I just wanted to point that out, that once you remarry, you really need to make a new will. Because when you look at it, it's a new life you're starting.
Sure.
Absolutely. No.
Anyway,
Thank you, caller.
I take my hat off to you, Tariq.
Yes, indeed, Tariq.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for calling in and participating and sharing some things that you learned. And I agree. And Mr. Perry Trott, he concurs. He says that you should review your will at least every 2 to 5 years. And that way, like you said, when you do remarry, if that happens, then you can update your will to your current wishes versus what you had done years ago.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, caller, for listening in, and I hope you enjoyed the show.
Yes, I did. Right.
Thank you.
Take
All right,
care.
caller. Take care.
Right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All
Wow.
right.
Yeah. I tell you, we have really, really touched on so many aspects this evening.
I agree.
Tariq. And it's been important. It's been educational.
Very
It's
much
been
so.
uplifting. And I think we got a lot of positivity out of it.
I do.
And so I thank you, Tariq's Variety Show, once again. I think I should give you the applause.
But I thank you, Kat. I'm thankful for the opportunity and the platform. And I'm also thankful to her people are engaged and have questions and whatnot. This is what it's all about: having the discussion, having conversations, learning new things, and being proactive with the knowledge that you gain this evening.
Yeah. So thank you, beautiful people, for listening in once again to It's Been Said. Everyone is born into the once upon a lifetime story, and we live to experience our happily ever after. What about you? As I always say, if you have a story, if something has come to light even during this conversation that you believe is uplifting, send me an email at coolcat00@hotmail.com, KOOLKAT00@hotmail.com, and we will get in contact with you. Thank you, callers, for calling in, and to you beautiful people for listening in. And as I told you, you can follow us on Facebook on It's Been Said with Cat Wade, or Instagram with It's Been Said with Cat Wade. And next week is going to be just as special, Tariq. We've got Dignity House in the house.
Hey, that's our community partners right there.
Yes, that's our community partners. So Chris and Alexis will be with us next week. And we're going to meet together every week from here on in to hear everyday stories of ordinary people who have overcome challenges, finding ways to cope and to live extraordinary lives. Because as we say, a negative mind will never give you a positive life. So until next time, stay positive. Yeah.